frozen food as much as possible. Again, it's, in this country, I know very well, being a cook myself, that, you cannot avoid it, but there are ways to mitigate it too. So when it is, again, like when we say the balance, so if it is, something from a very cold thing, like, if this was cold in the refrigerator, but if it's also a cold food, then you put some heating herbs in it to make it better. So easier to digest. So that is the way you can mitigate it. But, again, on my website, I'm going to have like daily or monthly food plans, because, most of the food plans I find outside are for Westerners. So, they have like smoothies or shakes, or they have, just oats like in the middle of the day, which I know nobody in my family is going to eat. So I have my own food plan, which I'm going to share with everybody on the website. So you will have a customized food plan when you come for, consultation, but just in general, what you can eat, that, will give you an idea. But I would say just eat local, eat in season, and eat green or fresh. Those are the first 3 things which you can use to get the best ahara that your body needs. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah. So one thing you recommended was hot water, and I think I've been hearing about turmeric and ginger.
Yes.
Are those also recommended for immunity development, or do you suggest those, or there is something else that we need to be taking?
Yeah. Yes. So hot water, that is, like actually the first blog that I've written on my website is because that is the most important thing. So, for not most important thing, not just for immunity, but for many things. And the reason being, which, I know like a lot of kids and especially teenagers, they do not like to hear that, or they don't even want to taste that. But that is because, their Agni is already high tuned. So they don't feel that the body needs it. But when your Agni starts going down, that is the most easiest way you can build up your Agni is by drinking hot water. And when your Agni is up, it, digest the ama, that is the toxins in your body. So when you digest the toxins in your body, then obviously your Agni will even go up higher. So, and I know I keep saying Agni, one of our Vaidyas here in US, a very famous one, Vasant Lad, he says, I have 10 million in the bank, but that's not what $10 million in the bank, but that's not what is my most prized possession. My most prized possession is in my stomach, my Jatiragni. So the Agni is what I will give those 10 million for any day to just retain. So that is how important your Agni is. And the easiest way to build up that Agni and to maintain it is with hot water. Because that is, you're creating the Agni already inside. And water is, Jalamabut again, it's needed in your body. And when it is hot, it just creates the balanced one. And when you put Haridra, like turmeric or ginger, again, ginger is good. It's a little bit Tikshna Guna, but it's also good when you eat it fresh. And when you have it with hot water, it's much more milder. It gives you the good ones without giving you the real, Tikshna Guna effect. So that's why, it is good. But again, these are not like a cure-all remedy, but for Dinacharya and for following it, yes, this is definitely good. You can have hot water either with tulsi tea or with tulsi leaves, or you can have it with ginger, or you can even have it with lemon, but don't put, honey in hot water, put it in lukewarm water and never cook honey, never boil it. So you just add it in the end if you need it, and you can consume that. Yes, definitely it's a very good, start. It's better than having like coffee first thing in the morning.
Thank you, Shlita. You were recommending some oils for massage, body massage. Do you want to list them one more time for the audience, please?
Sure. So, when I have a consultation, then I look at the Prakriti of the person and the Vikruti, and according to that, I give them a blend usually of oils. But, for just everyday massage, and, if it is somebody who doesn't want to come in for a consultation, I would say the safest one would be till oil, that is sesame oil. And this would be, sesame oil, which is unrefined or, cold pressed. Though that's the best one. So you just take a little bit of that and you can do a massage. And because, we are here in Florida and where it tends to get hot most of the time, is you can also use coconut oil. So those are the easiest one. But, we have many formulations. Just specially for Abhyanga, we do have some formulations which you can use. And we also create blends which you can use too. But if you want to do body massage, and again, my website will also have a link where you can go ahead on simple, 5-minute body massage. So it's not even like going to take you a long time. It's just a 5-minute massage that you can do. I'll have it on the website. I have it on the website and you can go ahead and follow that.
Okay. These these oils should be available in the Indian stores or
Yes, yes. And one very good thing I found was both the Patel brothers and also House of Spices. I found this unrefined till oil, where it's like, I think, we call it like, it's pressed from cold pressed. So without any kind of heat into the process, it's cold pressed oil. So till oil, then that would be the best.
Thank you, Shlita. Next question we have is, what herb should be taken on a daily basis? How should it be consumed? And how much hing should be used on a daily cooking as Veda?
Okay, hing, okay. So first, what herbs you need to take on a daily basis? So like I said, when we were a baby, when we were in Prakriti state, we didn't need any herb because, we were already healthy. So, but now why do we need herbs? Is because we are in a Vikriti state. So based on what Vikriti state we have to take the herbs. So like, there is of course shunti, like ginger, or there is, actually, for our Indian cooking, we take all the herbs we need. If we do the authentic Indian cooking, like how your grandmother did, we do take all the Indian herbs that we do need on a regular basis in small quantities. But anything more than that anything more than that small quantity into a larger quantity, you cannot take just, based on one size fits all. And you should not take it too. So herbs especially, it might look like, okay, this is just jeera. But like I said before, using 1 spoon of haridra turmeric is very different from using 5 spoons of turmeric. So you don't just increase into 5 spoons just because, it's going to boost your immunity. No, it's again very specific according to what you need, and that's how you would increase it. So whatever herbs you're using right now, like turmeric or ginger or lemon or, mint, coriander, any of that, you can go ahead and use it in what you're using in present quantity. But to increase it, I definitely recommend not to do it on your own. Again, we do have the, maybe I can put it in the notes, we do have the teas that the Ayush government is recommending. So you can take that. But again, that not like, you don't sip it throughout the day. Just take it like maybe sip a small cup in the morning and small cup in the evening. Just once or twice a day is better, rather than just, drinking gallons and gallons of it, because that is never a good idea. And then hing. Yes, hing is a very good vata shamak. So it balances vata, which is very good. But, the traditional way we use it along with cooking, that is the best way to use it. But there are some formulations like Hingvashtak Churnam and, the others, which we would recommend based on your Vikriti. So this is again not something I would say like everybody go to this site and buy Hingvashtak Churnam and eat it. No, eat what you are eating right now. Just eat it in a more mindful way. Use it in a more mindful way. Cook food with prana, and that would be the best immunity that you can give your body.
Thank you, Shlita. The next question, I think we're getting a lot of questions, but I just want to summarize this here. As per Ayurveda, eating fruits along with milk or milkshakes. Do not eat fruits along with milk or milkshakes. And how many times yogurt per day is suggested? And following on the same lines, coffee, tea on empty stomach in the morning, is it good or bad? So probably they're all in the same category.
Okay. So first I'll start off with the fruits. So the fruits, not all fruits are, again, I'm going into specifics of what, Acharya Vagbhatta said in Ashtanga Hridayam. So this is, like he gave in specific order too, like don't eat this fruit with this one or that. So we'll not go into all those specifics, but I usually tell my clients, just don't mix fruits and milk. Because, you don't know, like, when I say, okay, don't mix any sour fruits. So, but maybe that fruit is raw and it is still sour. So, you don't want to go into all those intricacies. Just keep it like a rule of thumb. Do not mix fruits and milk. So I know we do have like, banana that we take, even with prasad, like, in the milk. That is a very small quantity compared to like, a whole glass of milkshake where you put in every fruit you have, like, strawberries, blueberries, mango, and then you put milk and you drink it. That is definitely not recommended. Because that in itself, your body, even if you understand it from the scientific point of view, like, now with the enzymes and, the microbiome and everything too, the enzyme that is needed to digest a fruit, like a sour fruit, is very different from an enzyme that's needed to digest milk. So I know here, they've just given enzymes in 3 forms, and I know because a doctor would contradict me immediately saying, enzymes are enzymes. But, the quantity you need and the way it's released in your body is very different from when you're digesting milk to when you're digesting fruit. So why do you want to confuse your body like that? You want the most ahara rasa. You want the poshana from that ahara. So that way, drink your milk, then give it like 3 or 4 hours, then eat your fruit. So you're getting the best from both of it. So don't try to shortcut it by putting it all together.
Srilataji, can I ask you a quick question here about the shake? So when you try to make a shake with the fruits, and if you're not using milk, what should we use? Should we use orange juice to make it? Because we need some kind of liquid to churn it. So what should we use for the fruit shake then?
Yes, I would say use fruit juice because they are fruits. So please use the fruit juice. That would be the easiest way that you can make your juice then.
Okay,
yes.
Thanks.
And the other thing too, I know this is again going into nitty-gritty, and that's where, a lot of Ayurvedic Vaidyas always get a bad name, as they say, you don't give us enough choice. Is, when you're eating the fruit too, more than a shake, eating it is always better for your body. I know it's not like a hard and fast rule that don't ever make a shake, always eat your fruits. No, but God made it in a way that you need everything from that fruit in you. So there is a reason why you need, what the pulp is, why you need the juice, why you need to chew it, to be able to assimilate into your body in the perfect way, like to get the complete ahara out of it. So that way, when you do shakes, you're doing a shortcut. So your body is getting nutrition. Definitely it's better than Coke or, Pepsi. But why lose that rest of the portion or two that food can give you? So just eat it whenever possible. But when it is not, then please, yes, go ahead and make a shake. But please use, juice of it. Then that's much, much better than milk. Yogurt is again very bad. So that, when we come to the subject of yogurt, so in Ayurveda, and especially, that way we are very blessed here in Florida because we have weather which is similar to, at least some part in India, that, do not eat yogurt by itself. Like, don't just take the yogurt that you've set in the night or, you have from your can. Don't just eat it. So what is the best recommended way to get yogurt is takra. That is buttermilk. So what they say is take a whole glass of water, add like maybe just a spoon of yogurt into it, and then do the in Telugu we call it chilukattam. So you do this thing with it, you shake it or you blend it. You either use a small handheld blender or you can do it in a big blender that you have. So blend it and make sure that you don't see even a small part of yogurt in it. Like you don't see a chunk of yogurt in it. It should be so well blended that it's just like white water. So that is the best way to get it. And now, like with modern research, and this I just found like about a few days ago, was, they found that that's where, you get the whole lactobacillus into your body in the best way possible. Because that's basically why you're taking it. Because, you want to get that good bacteria into your body. And when you get that good bacteria, it helps you reduce your heat in your body. So it helps, with the guna of like pitta, tikshana. So then the way you help it is by getting what you need out of it. And then what you need out of it is the lactobacillus, which you can get in this form. And also, when you eat yogurt, I know we all eat yogurt at the end of the meal, and that's the most satisfying part of it, to end the meal, like especially South Indians. But, when you eat it, it just gives you a lot of the cold, the heavy, the heavy qualities of the food that doesn't, help you with the digestion. And that's usually when I notice, even with myself, when you do that is when you feel sleepy after a meal, after, half an hour after a meal, is because you've already put in all those qualities. But when you see, according to our ahara, this thing, you should feel energetic after eating. You should feel full of, liveliness after eating. So that's the reason why we say use takra instead of yogurt, cold yogurt, heavy yogurt. But, again, that is not a very hard and fast rule. You don't need to do it every day. You can do it according to when you
can. One question, there are a lot of talks about animal products are not good for our body, but in Krishna always had buttermilk and in I am in butter. And so how far the animal products are good for our human body? I mean all the vegan milk products.
Yes. That's a very good question. Thank you for asking that, Mataji. So the main thing is, like, I know right now we have the veganism, but, according to our acharyas, you do not have to be a vegan. In fact, you know, in many, this again, you know, is according to the principle of ahimsa, you would say that, you know, you cannot do this. But even, you know, some meat products are also recommended. But again, that is, you know, according to a person. If the person is very dehydrated, then, you know, they were given those kind of products. But coming back to just milk or this, they are all very much needed in our diet. There is nothing wrong in taking it. The only thing wrong is the quality we get here. So the way the cows are being raised, the way the cows are being milked, and the way that milk is being processed, that is at fault here. It is not milk itself. Because, you know, my Vaidyas always tell the first thing, that is the most, you know, complete meal. Milk is the most complete meal you can give your body. So you don't even need to eat any of this. If you just drink milk, that is enough. And that's the way, you know, the babies, the most healthiest creatures sometimes on earth, they are drinking only that, and that's enough for them. So it is what we are getting here, you know, the pasteurized, the homogenized, and everything else that's been added, that is at fault here. So the way, again, you know, you overcome it is, okay, you need to first find the milk that suits your body. So for many people right now, I find, you know, the A2 milk, that A2 milk is what they are able to digest better than the regular milk. And the reason being, you know, the casein in it, and that is what we had in our ancient cows in India. So that is the milk. And the secondly, the thing is the way you take it. Like if you take milk, you know, like after a heavy meal, you know, you need to end it with a glass of milk. Or I know many Americans here, they drink milk during the meal. That is definitely not the way you take it. Again, like I said, you know, see according to what is your digestion power, and according to that take it. So, and ghee. You know, one of my favorite subjects, you know, I can talk for an hour on ghee. So ghee is one of the best products you can give your body. I know it has a lot of bad reputation that, you know, it's bad for cholesterol, it's bad for, you know, so many other things they can think of, but no, that they're finding now with research how good it is for us, how good it is for our microbacteria. In fact, it creates a kind of acid, you know, butyric acid that is needed for our mental power too. So there is a very, very deep connection between all these foods and the balance that we keep talking about. So, milk is definitely good. Going vegan is not needed to stay healthy. You can eat all these animal products. I mean, you know, of course, the milk, and this is what we're talking about, honey and this, all of those are good. But the main thing is make sure you get it from a good source, good, you know, I think I'm, for lack of better word, you know, good brand here.
Yeah, Srilata, I think there are a lot of questions about your website and email address. If you want to change the slide to that, that would help.
Sure.
And I think we are way past 9:42. I would say one more question. You know, I'm not sure. There are a lot of questions about using ashwagandha. What is the benefit of using kakarkaya? And, you know, all these questions. But, you know, I would just leave it for you. Probably you can answer that. We will conclude the session with, if you can just.
Sure, I can give you a small.
They can reach you, the way to reach you, that would help everybody.
Sure, yes, I'll go ahead and get that up. So just to answer the question first, Krishnaji, so, you know, like there are some, you know, herbs called rasayanas, which are good for, you know, just improving the quality and the of your health. Those would be like, you know, guruchi or amla or ashwagandha, haridra, tulsi, and all of those. But, you know, again, like I said, even if you take it in a small quantity, sometimes based on your conditions, it's very easy to go ahead and, you know, create more imbalance. So that's why I would say, again, any of these would be like under self-medication. So please do not self-medicate. Get, you know, an Ayurvedic Vaidya or any practitioner or anybody with a little bit more knowledge who will give you the recommendation on what to use before you use it. So, you know, I know it sounds very silly, you know, like, okay, I have paracetamol at home. So if I get fever, I'll take paracetamol. So why are you denying me, you know, from giving me some medicine that I can take, you know, if I get the fever? But see, the thing is, they're just looking at only the fever. They're not looking at what caused the fever, why that person has the fever, how we can stop the fever from coming in the first place. But here in Ayurveda, we do that. We see, you know, like, okay, you want to boost your immunity. What is your age? What is your present condition? And according to that, we boost it. So I'm, you know, very sorry if, you know, that is not the answer you're looking for. But, you know, self-medication is one of the big no-nos, I would say. So please see a Vaidya or anybody, and they'll give you all the recommendations you need to be able to maintain and also balance your health. So I know that ashwagandha is a rasayana, it can be taken, but again, you know, how to take duration, quantity, everything is very specific. So that's what I wanted to say in short. I hope I answered that, Krishna ji. Anything I missed in?
Definitely. I think they were looking for your website and email address, Srilata.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. There. Can we see it now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Ayurvedic.world and
Yes.
Ayurvedic.world for just
Yes.
for everybody's.
Mhm.
So thank you very much. We are 15 minutes over, and we had a very good crowd of 60, 65.
Hi.
And before,
Hi, Srilata garu.
hello,
I have a small question here. Hi.
Hello.
please.
Hi, Srilata garu. You said we can put some oil in the nostrils, oil drops. What there is any specific age? Can we do it for kids like 2 or 3 year old?
Oh yes. Yes. I mean, as long as you're not putting the oil, you know, like a drops of oil into the nostril, you can just take a little bit on their pinky finger or your pinky finger and then rub it inside the nostril.
Yeah. Which oil you will prefer? We have to use it for that.
For the, you know, for small children, I would say use ghee. That is the safest one.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, you can use ghee, or you can even use coconut oil. You know, if you, I mean, the main reason would be, I think, nasal crust or that, right? You're looking at. Yes.
Okay.
Then, yeah, you can also use coconut oil. That's also fine, but ghee is the best.
Yeah. How about karakaya?
Karakaya, you know, again, it's a herb. It's not like just, you know, like one particular this. So,
Okay.
especially not for kids, I wouldn't, you know, without knowing the whole conditions, I wouldn't recommend it. But, you know,
Okay.
all of these are herbs, and that's the reason, you know, when you're cooking, you're putting it in such low doses that it doesn't make a lot of, you know, difference. When you're using it as a herb, you're using it multiple times, it makes a lot of difference there. So that's the reason why I say, please do not self-medicate.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Srilata garu.
Um,
Nitin, you want to add anything before we can conclude?
I just wanted to thank you, Krishna ji, for giving me, and Tago for giving me this opportunity. I know, like I said, you know, I can talk for hours on this, so I just kept it short. Hopefully you got what, you know, I was trying to get across.
No,
And,
definitely. This was more a sort of like a introduction to Ayurveda and the interest in our ancient culture and the yoga that we have been doing for the last 60 days, as Nitinji was saying, 30 days and 60 days for some of the folks. It has been a very good, overwhelming experience with our bodies. And with this, probably they'll know what is this actual science behind it, and probably not get scared themselves, but to just assure themselves that it is all in their hands rather than anything more.
yes, exactly. Very well put. Very well put. Yes.
Yep, Nitinji, if you want to add anything, or maybe, you know, if there are no other questions, we can you know, take one more thing and just call it off.
Yeah, thank you, Krishna garu. I think what we can do is all the questions that we have, right, that were probably not answered, we can email them to Srilata ji.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we also have her email address also. I think, Srilata ji, you know, I'm just echoing what I'm seeing on the screen here, that I think everybody just loved the session and like to actually see more, you know, down the road. So I think with Krishna garu, I think, you know, and Tago, hopefully we can arrange for more of these sessions in the near future.
Okay.
Sure.
Yes,
Great.
definitely.
Hey, Krishna, just a suggestion. Maybe Srilata can come every Saturday for 15 minutes, you know, after the yoga.
Yeah. Sure. We can do that. Yeah, there is sufficient
Depending on
interest.
what she wants to do for 15 minutes.
Oh,
every
yes,
Saturday.
no, I'll be,
No.
so, like I said, you know, I can talk for hours on this. So, yes, no, I'll be happy to come.
Definitely, Srilata. We had the 21-day challenge, and where Bhavya Bhai has been coming, and he's a very good known cardiologist, and he's giving us input on in terms of general medicine and heart as such, and you know that gave us a little bit of a boost for everybody, and you know maybe if there is sufficient interest, probably we would love to see you also on our sessions on Saturday. Particularly Saturdays are more relaxed and we have some time for everybody to introspect and go through what we have done, what is wrong, what is that we want to learn more, and definitely that's what it is. So.
Oh, definitely. I'll be very glad to come, very happy to come and share what little knowledge I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Srilata. Thank you, Nitin, for hosting everything. And thank you all for participating and wonderful questions. And hopefully you will feel assured and secured enough that we have everything in our hands. And we are all here to get through this bad phase or the bad times here and can pass it out through.
Thank you, Srilata garu.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Krishna ji.
Thank you so much, Krishna garu. Thank you again. Thank you, Srilata ji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Srilata garu.
Thank you, Krishna.